Looks like we are live. I'm glad you're here, brother. Thank you. Appreciate
Roger.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Milo Gutierrez, deer unboxing, based out of Bluffdale, Utah. 3-time Golden Gloves?
State champ.
State champ,
Yeah, and then 2-time regional.
West Coast region,
Rocky Mountain.
Rocky Mountain region. So that would cover
It's my first podcast.
Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana.
Don't make fun of my face.
And then from there you go to nationals.
what years were you in Golden Gloves?
Actually have the potential to.
2016, 17, and 18.
And every year you competed, you won?
Except my first year.
How far did you get your first year?
I got to the finals.
Amazing. First year. And then next year you come back and take the Golden Gloves.
Yeah.
You got to understand, dude, for me, that's kind of a big deal because not everybody's out there achieving something like that. I mean, it's one of the highest feats in boxing for amateur boxing. What kind of person does it take to get to that level of thinking? I know it's a loaded question, but give me an idea of where your mindset was at the time.
That time, I don't know, I was just every day, man. Every day I wake up, I just working hard, towards something I want to accomplish, right? I write everything down. So I remember just writing that down and checking it off and seeing it the years, after. And I'm like, wow, it's just, I don't know, hard work, dedication. Yeah. And when you put your mind to it, you can achieve what you set out.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. But to put it into actual practice requires a certain type of mindset and a certain type of person. Again, I'm not trying to get you to hype yourself up or to have some sort of, ego moment here. But I actually want to know the truth of where does the drive come from? What makes somebody take something like that by storm? Was it something in the past that happened? Was there a motivator? Was it a family member? Personal drive? Where does this drive come from? Where is it at the core?
I mean, there's lots of drives. Even so today, right? There's still lots of drives. It all started though when I was 20. I feel like I truly found myself at 20. I'm gonna joke. My second time I got out, went home. My mom gave up on me. My parents were on the brink of going in a divorce, and they did. And I don't know. I just started boxing. I just found a gym because my brother-in-law told me about the Fulmers. And yeah, I remember just my first day going in, and I met Jay Fulmer. He was the youngest of the 3 brothers, Gene, Don, and Jay. And he's like, "Hey, Tiger, you look like you can fight. You want to spar?" And I was like, "Sure." I don't know at the time. Because I thought it was dumb. I thought boxing was dumb. I already went to jail for fighting, and growing up fighting. Like, why would I box? It was just so dumb to me. And anyways, I sparred one of my buddies, Matt Cyril. And man, he wasn't my buddy at the time, but throughout the years. And man, he beat me up for just a 1 3-minute round. And I remember I was wearing a big old baggy white shirt, big old baggy shorts, and I went home all bloody. My mom was like, "You're never gonna change this and that." And I was like, "No, Mom, I'm boxing now. Like I'm boxing." And same thing, she thought it was crazy, but I just knew like that night too. I received Think and Grow Rich. And get this, I've never read a full book until I was 20. I was just, I don't know what I was doing. My mind was just all over the place. I was focused on distractions, and I never read a full book. But when I remember reading that book at night. Even watching an Eric Thomas video. Eric Thomas, a big motivator, man.
E.T.?
He voted me, yep, E.T. And I
E.T.,
remember
the hip-hop preacher.
what's the video? How bad do you
How
want
bad
it?
do you want it? Yeah.
And I don't know, those 3 things came that same day, that same night. And I was like, no, I'm gonna do this. Like, I know I'm gonna get something out of this. I was certain on that. You know, the same way I was certain when I was doing dumb stuff, I knew what the consequences were. It's the same thing. Okay, if I do the right things, even though I'm gonna go through stuff, I'm gonna go through a lot of pain, it's gonna pay off, you know? Like, I just had that in my mind. I just knew it. And yeah, before you know it, like you said, I became a 3-time Golden Gloves state champ, 2-time Golden Gloves regionals. In my 4th year competing, I was ranked number 6 in the nation, and through USA Boxing, and I made the Olympic trial. And but there was so much motivation. You know, the biggest thing starting out when I first started, like my first year, before I even got my first fight, I think I got it at like 8 months. I dropped like 30 pounds and got my first fight. Was really just working out hard, especially on Fridays and Saturdays, so I couldn't physically go out because I was so tired. That was my excuse, and I would call my friends because they always want to hit me up because I knew where the spots were, this and that, and I had the car, you know, and then I started doing that, and then slowly but surely, man, you just started losing who you would call friends and all that. You know, now I have a good 3-4 really good friends, and what's crazy is they're all, you know, they're fit, they're exercising, doing jiu-jitsu, you know, some are boxing, so it's pretty cool to see. But anyhow, and then that was really my first motivation, was like, I need to quit that life. I need to get my stuff together. And then from there, then, you know, I started competing. I actually lost my first 2 fights. And I remember going in the car. My dad actually drove me home, and I wanted to quit because I felt I won my first 2 fights. Yeah. And I just want to quit because I'm like, no, this is rigged. I don't like it, this and that. And you know, I want to quit. And there's a lot of other people telling me, oh, you should go to my gym. You should go to my gym. My dad said, no, you stay with Coach Nick and Coach Ted at the Formers. Those guys will change your life. They've already changed your life in a matter of like almost, it was like what, 10 months? Like, stick with them. And what was crazy is me and my dad were in that cool, especially during teenage years. He actually kicked me out. And, you know, we had a lot of fights back and forth. And I never seen him like a dad. He never seen me like a son. And what's crazy, that moment, I was like, dang, I have my dad. Like, my dad's like on my side, you know, he hasn't missed a fight. He's seen my first 2 fights. And then he started going into the gym once a week to watch me train. Twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week, because they were open 4 times a week. And then I started fighting again. I started winning fights just in a row. And then one day my coach, Coach Nick, head coach, said, hey, your dad knows a lot about boxing. You know, what do you think about him coaching? Yeah, like if you want, yeah. You know, he's never fought or anything, but he knows a lot about boxing. You know, he's Mexican. And we grew up watching just a bunch of fights, you know. It's crazy, too. When I was 10, he bought me a double-end speed bag and a heavy bag. And I wouldn't punch those unless I had to get my knuckles ready to go get in a fight. But I never used them to actually train boxing. So I regret that part of my life. But at the end of the day, I can't go back. And I just have to teach them. If I get 10-year-olds, I'm like, stick to this.
You love fighting.
I love fighting. I love fighting.
You love combat sports.
I do. Right. I think they're, especially when you.
Sorry, I just got to pause it real quick because I got to change my voice. I think my voice is a little bit too low. Comes off a little bit effeminate, if I may say. So it's my first podcast, so I want to see how I can improve.
Because one thing is like you can fight in the street, you can think you're cool, this and that. But when you get into a combat sport, you'll know real fighting. And then that actually humbles you. That's a good thing. That's a good thing to have. And then you just build, I don't know, just so much discipline throughout time. So that's what I feel that I really gained from boxing throughout time, was just a lot of discipline in different areas of my life. And yeah, like I said, those were all motivators for me to fight, you know.
Question for just on a shift on the subject here. You mentioned Think and Grow Rich. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, the mind can achieve. You hear that quote, and then on the other side, I hear you talking about having a double-end bag and a bunch of stuff fighting at 10 years old. And I see that the warrior mindset's already built into you. How does a warrior come across something like Think and Grow Rich and apply it to not only combat sports, but also to the business world?
Yeah, so for the business world, so I boxed until 2020. Everything shut down. I remember I was supposed to fight on a Saturday. On Tuesday, they told me, hey, you're not gonna fight. Everything shut down, and that was actually my last day at Vasa too. So I was at Vasa for 4 years. So not only did I start getting into boxing at 20, I started getting into fitness too because I love fitness. And I did it for 4 years. I trained. I loved it. Loved changing people's lives. I actually did a physique show too after one of my Golden Gloves tournaments. And then right after that, I did a triathlon, with my wife. And I don't know, it's just something about pushing yourself. It's just motivating. And now, especially in the business world, I started it about 4.5 years ago. I was renting out of a gym for about 4 months. Then we had to leave, go to a park for about 5 months, and we were just kind of in a shift of getting a gym, buying a home. We actually bought a home, made the garage into our gym, and we were there for 2 years. And then after that, then we finally found a spot that I've been looking for in Bluffdale. I'm like, finally. And yeah, we were there for about 6 months. Then we expanded, and then a year later, here we are. So I don't know. I just feel, whatever the mind can believe, the mind can achieve. So.
Well, you did that in less than a year. You went from being in jail. In less than a year, you became a champion boxer.
Well, I had just 2 fights. I lost both of those fights. So maybe not necessarily a
I
champion
appreciate
boxer.
the humility. But
So
you
maybe
got to
not a champion
understand,
boxer.
to the average person, right?
No, it takes a lot of balls to get up in that ring.
Thank you.
I think just automatically that makes you a champion. I have to say that you have to respect that.
Milo, I've watched you. And the reason I'm having this interview with you in this context is because I believe that your story needs to be told.
Okay. Good vibes.
The way you interact with your students, the way they look at you, the way I've seen you handle stuff at the gym in the short amount of time, I pay attention to details. You know this, okay? You have something special that's there. You're turning average people into champions. There's something different. There's gyms all over this valley. Why is your gym happen to be the one that's able to do that? I see it happening. I'm not making this up. This is not hype. I've seen it. So I appreciate the humility, but I need to know, where is this coming from? You're motivated, you're inspired, I see that. But there's something about you that has a magnetism that these young kids are being drawn to, and they're being turned into champions. You're not just finding people with talent, okay? Say, hey, that guy's gonna be a good boxer, get in the cage, get in the ring and start fighting, get in the cage and start fighting. It's not how this works. I've seen you do it. How do you turn a nobody into a somebody?
So our mission statement for Diorum is building confidence, character, champions.
Beautiful.
I believe that 100%, and everybody on the team.
You better
does.
put that into that Greek shirt that I told you about.
Yes,
I'll see that
yes,
Greek shirt.
yes. We got to make that happen. Yes, sir. And it all starts with the team. It's really not just me. It all starts with the team. I'm blessed enough. My dad's there. He's the head coach. And my mom's there. She works in the front. She greets everybody. Everyone loves her. And then we have our coaches on our boxing side, on our fitness side, and now on our wrestling side. So it is growing. It is growing, and I just feel the whole magnetism. I don't know. I just feel when you really want to help, and you really have that passion, and you just kind of, in a way, you kind of see yourself in others. Maybe that's why you want to be around them. They want to be around you, but you want to be around them. So it works both ways. So it's cool, It's not just, we're just making. No, it's not just about finance. It's you're building a relationship with everyone, and you're just kind of seeing everybody grow. Because I've had kids when I first started, from the fitness gym, for the 4 months when we first started in the little fitness gym, to the park, to my house, and just see them all grow up. A lot of them have graduated and all, and they're driving now, or even adults. They're just, they get in a relationship. Later on, they're getting married. There's just so many things. They're having kids. I don't know, man. It's just, I know it's cool to see. It's cool to see. And then the fight part, that's very exciting too. You know, when you have kids, teenagers, adults that want to compete, you feel that too. You feel that hunger, you know? So when I'm in there and, you know, cornering, I'm watching, I don't know, I feel like I'm in there as well. So it just feels like it's a circle. Like wherever I'm traveling, it's just a circle, you know? Like, I don't know, yeah, it feels like everything comes full circle, so.
You mentioned your dad quite a bit. How much of an inspiration has he been for you?
I love my dad. My dad's my best friend. He, you know, through those years, I don't look back and I don't blame him. I don't this and that. Look, he just wanted. I understand now. And one thing that he always told me this, whether I was, you know, good with him, bad with him, whatever it was, he always told me this, and this is true. He said, "I want you to be better than I was." And I never understood that. I never understood that till now. You know, I understand how he wants me to be better than him, maybe as a husband, as a father, as a person, you know. So, yeah, I understand him. I understand him. I'm just doing what I need to do, and I know he's very proud of me. He doesn't tell me, but I know he is. You know, you can see it, and I don't need him to tell me. We just do what we got to do, and that's it, you know? So, yeah.
He knows how to love you in all the right ways.
Yes.
Right. You know, I'm asking these types of questions as opposed to typical fighting questions because the world's changing. It's 2025. People are fed up. What they're looking for is authenticity. I talked to you about that, okay? The vibe of marketing, of business, of people. Everyone.
This is amazing, by the way.
I know. I love those drinks. Shout out to Guayaki.
How do you say it? Yerba mate?
Yerba mate, yeah.
Yerba mate.
It's a drink from South America. Yeah, I love
I'm not
it. What'd you
sponsoring
think?
them.
Do you like it? Yeah. Yeah, I swear by it. So I'm going to be putting that out there for everybody, for the world to see. But anyway, back to what I was saying is I ask these questions because that's what the world's looking for these days. They want authentic people. There's a reason why podcasts are blowing up is they want to hear conversations that you would hear in a coffee shop between two people and you're bored and you look over your shoulder and you go, man, I wish I was a part of that conversation. It's a form of eavesdropping. Not everybody.
This is a really cool platform, by the way. Thanks, Travis.
Yeah, thank you, Travis.
It's awesome.
Shout out
I'm
to
excited
Travis.
for the next. Invite me on the next one. I want to see.
Yeah. Shout out to Vox Studios. Are we in Vox Studios?
Studios.
Yeah. Shout out.
Same.
But that's why I'm asking these questions because there's going to be a kid out there who's going through a divorce, right? And he needs an outlet and he's angry and no one listens to him and no one understands him. He comes into this gym because mom, dad, somebody says, I don't know what to do with this kid. He's fighting and what you see is a little version of yourself in some ways, right? When I hear this story about, you know, your mom and dad almost getting a divorce.
Can I stop you there?
Please.
When you first started, I'm not gonna say who he is, but when you talk about having a divorce, one kid I didn't know had a divorce. I call him kid. If you're 18, if you're younger than 30 or 31, you're a kid. No offense. But yeah, this kid, I didn't know he got divorced, but for a month, man, he was, working out like hard. I had to actually tell him he's got to chill. The same way my coaches told me, but they didn't know. I was like, Coach, you don't know. Like, if I'm feeling good, I will go out tonight. Like, I have to be sore. Like, physically, I can't. Like, I can't wait. You know what I mean? Now, I'm in bed by like 10, the latest. You know what I mean? It's crazy, you know? But I used to be up till like 3, 5 in the morning.
Why do you go to bed at 10?
Well, I get up early.
Obviously.
I have my morning group. Yeah.
Yeah.
The men's group. So, but other than that, even on other days, I just get up early just because I'm used to it now. Really.
There are things, Milo, there are things that you do that are on autopilot that I have to dissect and break down because to the average person, they don't understand it, right? The fact that you go to bed at 10 and wake up early, not because you have an obligation to be somewhere, which is important, right? You want to have things that you're committed to be like, I don't want to drop the ball, right? It keeps us accountable, right?
Right.
But more so the health benefits of keeping your circadian rhythm in line, right? Especially as you get older. You look very young for your age, by the way. So
I appreciate
I don't
it.
know
Thank
if
you.
it's if you're drinking the baby blood out in
yerba
Hollywood.
mate.
It's got to be the yerba
Oh,
mate.
I got
though.
a whole. That'll be another hour.
Another hour of
podcast.
some podcasts on some conspiracies too.
Yes.
But going back to what we were saying is, one example of a person is you have somebody who's motivated. I'm not saying this is the case, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. Motivated by some form or fueled by hatred, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, whatever that might be, and you take that out for hours on end on a bag or on somebody else at the gym, and you got to tell this kid to chill because you see the talent and the ability, but the drive, the energy is coming from a different place. It's not coming from a wholesome place. I've been there before. It's a very dark place to be, but you observed it. You observed it. If that comes up again in the future, how would you address that?
I feel personally, I have to give them a chance, maybe other chances, depending how bad the situation is. You get me?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. Because at the same time, they're there for a reason. And, I don't know, somewhere in your power, you have to help them, right? You have to. It just, I don't know.
Sorry to cut you off. I'm caught up in this thought in my head of why is it that boxing is always this redemption story, this Rocky story, this bad background, hard life, come back, make it through. You don't really see that in tennis. You don't see that in rugby, lacrosse, or any other major sport. But boxing just has this like Rocky story behind it that's built into it.
It's fighting. It's fighting. I believe we're all fighters. Like all of us as humans, we're all fighters. We have that instinct in us, But there's just those that learn how to discipline it. For the most part, because I'm thinking a lot of professionals right now. I'm like, oh well, but for the most part, most of them like they need that drive. They need that discipline,
Do you really want to train a loose cannon, or do you want to tame the loose cannon?
I mean, taming the loose cannon would be the better option, right?
Mm-hmm. Is there some people that are just pit bulls that you have to just let them off leash in a cage and let them do their thing because that's their outlet? How do you address all these different personalities that are drawn to combat sports? Some people are warriors. Some people are there to lose weight. It's a huge contrast between the two sides.
It just really depends on who the person is. I do a lot of group training, right? And I know that when they pair up, they're kind of pairing up within their group, right?
I'm glad you observed that to see who pairs up with each other in class, right? Fighters with
and
fighters.
And then from there, then at times you can start breaking them down individually.
Just real quick, just to point out why I stopped that there was because I have 15 plus years coaching as well too. So there's certain observations that we make too when it comes to seeing how the students interact with each other, which students pair up, so forth.
Usually, but you got to give them a chance as a group, because in a way they're a group of warriors. I know boxing's like it's only like you're one man sport, right? But at the same time, you still have sparring partners, you still have training partners. So at the same time, it's not true. I was told this when I first made Diorum. I was gonna go with these guys. They knew I want to train fighters. They wanted to do more fitness, like that kind of studio stuff. I was like, you can do both. They didn't believe me, but I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'll just do both. And it's very successful because you can have both in the gym. You can literally have both in the gym. You just know your fighters you're going to put more into, or maybe on other days you're going to train them more solo or within the fighting group, But I just feel that might be what makes our gym so unique is we just know how to handle certain situations. And that's not just me, but that's just the other coaches as well.
Certain situations.
Like maybe if I'm not there, someone else could handle a certain situation. Obviously, they report it back to me, because that's just what they do.
Give me an example of what somebody might go through if they're new to boxing, maybe in a social environment, and you're not there. What do you think would happen? They would get confused. Somebody else would coach them. They'd work with somebody. Would they get hurt in sparring? What are some things that run by your
So-
mind as a coach in those situations?
So number one, if they're working with my dad, I know they're gonna get pushed. They're gonna be like, "Dang, this guy pushes me." Oh, I know. Oh, that's your dad? Yes, that's my dad. I'm not like my dad as far as training. He's definitely more like old school, like harder on him, pushing him. But I know what he wants. He wants the best out of you. You know, that's his way to translate it. Me, I'm a little bit more chill. I like to work more on technique because I believe in hit and don't get hit. I'm all my fights. I went forward. I was just a brawler. I was just there to bang bang. You know, now when I became a coach, I'm more on my back foot. I'm around the ropes. I'm moving around. You know, because it's hit and don't get hit. And I'm like, dang, if I could have had this when I was fighting, I would have knocked old Milo out. You know, it would have been easy work. And so it just, I don't know, it just depends. You know, we have Coach Jay there too. They look at her, they're like, oh, and I don't want to put this in my way. She knows what I'm talking about, but oh, she's a woman.